You can't take a rookie out of the academy and make them a great homicide detective. Detectives are like old wine. They get better with age. It's a slow apprenticeship craft that takes a long time to master.
Any department relies on its seasoned veterans for investigating and clearing crimes with an arrest. Homicides are already somewhat more difficult to solve than they were in the past. And then you get a huge jump in the number of homicides the police are confronted with.
And this is where it gets scary. We lost a number of officers due to attrition, getting irritated and walking away.
We saw in many big cities last year, case solution rates for homicide go way down. There is then a relationship between significant increases in homicide and declines, at least for a time, in police solution rates. And then if you add in the pandemic and depletion in police ranks, that makes solution even more difficult. Police departments, even under better circumstances prior to COVID, a spurt of homicides occurs and the police department is not able to adapt as rapidly as the homicides are increasing.
The retention crisis is real and it's disproportionately being felt by major city agencies, and there are a host of problems that come from that.
We may not have the trained personnel to solve these cases. We're grossly undermanned. You have more work, fewer resources.
The social justice movement and the defund the police movement, it was taken very seriously by our council, and the numbers of police officers that we have today are reflected as such.
It's probably the worst time to be a cop of any time in my professional career.
I talked to one individual. He said, I've been in law enforcement for 20 plus years. I was here after Ferguson and I heard all of the conversation around that incident. After Floyd, it was unlike anything I'd seen before. Guys who were even close to getting their pension were just like, I'm done. I'm not doing this anymore.
That's been a challenge over the last couple of years in retention based on everything that's going on in the country and the general sentiment around police, as well as our ability to hire.
A number of departments have reported that they're having difficulties replacing the losses in the ranks, even with rookies. At the same time that police ranks are shrinking because of COVID, lots of officers out on quarantine.
Caseloads grew pretty significantly. That just makes their jobs that much more difficult. You've still got to go out and police the community, but you've got less manpower to do it.
We're running folks through the academy right now. We're on track, I believe, with hiring. We're doing what we need to start to turn that tide and bring more officers on.
The replacements that occur as a result of retirements are replacements in the beginning ranks.
We may not be getting the folks needed to address this violent crime crisis we're in. People wanted to serve and they wanted to become cops. Now that's a questionable assumption. Are you stupid? You can go become a dentist or a lawyer or a journalist. Why exactly do you want to do this?
But when your back's against the wall and you've got to have boots filled, there's that risk that you're progressing people before they're ready and you're losing that valuable experience that you might otherwise have.
We are in a resource-constrained environment.
I wouldn't agree that MPD is resource challenged. Their annual budget's about $600 million a year, a lot more on top of that in terms of overtime spending. The piece that I think just doesn't add up around resource constraint is they left $3 million on the table this last year for hiring.
As the homicide increase continues to subside, and let's hope that it does, I would expect arrest clearances for homicide to slowly but surely begin to come back up.
The politicians, we lack leadership. I think it's just the truth of it. We're in a mess nationally, and I think it's going to take multiple years to figure this out. Unfortunately, people are going to die in this paralysis.